What's going on, everybody? So today we're going to cover character creations and profiles. So whenever you finish conceptualizing your story and you have that foundation built up, what's the next thing you do? Well, what I would recommend you do is build up your characters. So however many characters you need in your story, you got to build a profile for each one. So if you have a main character and an antagonist, that's two profiles you got to create. Well, what's in a profile? Well, everybody has different processes when it comes to creating character profile. The one that I use is I will make a character sheet, essentially like a role-playing game, and I will make sure that I add a name to the character, and the name can be whatever you want. Some people like to go really meta with the names and tie the names into the story somehow, which is cool. There's nothing saying you can't do it. So if that's what you're going for, go for it. The next thing after that I like to add is the age. Now the age plays a pretty particular part in creating a character profile, just due to the maturity level of the character. If you're writing a story that involves a 3-year-old and a 10-year-old, the 10-year-old should be more mature than the 3-year-old, unless you're purposefully trying to break the rule, quote unquote, boss baby. After that, I always make sure I add a gender and race. So, and those could be whatever you want, whatever you feel is most beneficial to the story with the character, right? So if you have a sorority movie, you pretty much know that everybody there needs to be female. If you have a football movie, like stereotype says that every individual in that movie should be male, right? So if you got a football team in a locker room, 99% of the time they're all going to be male. After I get the gender, I always get the ethnicity. And the ethnicity is important to a character because it details culture, right? So if you like give your character a specific ethnicity, you know that character's history, like racial history, you know the culture of that character, and so on and so forth. And then after I get those basic kind of attributes out of the way, I start moving into the more meat and potatoes of character development. And what I mean by that is I always create a initial goal and an end goal. So the initial goal, what you should make the initial goal, is what does the character want to do prior to the inciting incident, okay? So if you have a script where 5 pages in, that's when the inciting incident happens, you have 5 pages or 4 7/8 to detail exactly what is the character's goal. What is the initial goal of the character? When we first meet him, her, or they or them, what is their driving factor? What are they trying to accomplish? Now, it's important to make this goal different from the goal I'm about to talk about next, the post-inciting incident goal, because there needs to be change. That's a big part in storytelling. There always has to be a change in the character. They have to change from one to the next. So after I get the initial goal figured out, I always go to the end goal. And the end goal is, just as I said a few seconds ago, the end goal is essentially the post-inciting incident goal. So after the inciting incident happens that forces or has our character make the choice to continue on in the story, what becomes their goal then? How does it change from the initial goal? So once you have that figured out, that helps you a lot when it comes to making sure that the character remains steadfast and true to the story. The next things to figure out, the final 2 things actually, is what positive trait or traits does your character have and what negative trait or traits does your character have. This will help develop the psychology of your character. This will help you understand how this character thinks and how they would react to a given stimulus or situation, right? And that's the biggest part of a character in a film. How do they react to whatever is thrown at them? And how does that reaction change per their character development throughout the entire of the film? So with all those things being said, I want to say thank you to everybody who's watching this video and enjoying it. If you are enjoying it, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. I want you to stick with us on this journey. We're going real far, guys, in a short amount of time. We're already at character development. So stick with us. I promise, if you stick with us, you'll have a decent script by the end of this video series. I would like to introduce y'all to is a couple of reference materials that will help y'all determine the positive trait and negative trait of your character, which to me is the most important. Your character needs to have a positive trait and a negative trait that helps build the psychology of the character. It will make your story stand out so much if you have a well-rounded character with a positive trait and a negative trait. So if you look in the description below, you will see a couple of Amazon links that will lead you to the reference material that I personally use that help me determine what those specific traits are for that specific character. So, once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for enjoying. Please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And I will see you next time. Later.